This is a presidential document from Donald J. Trump that was put onto the Federal Register, Volume 84, Number 61, on Friday, March 29th, 2019. It is Executive Order 13865 of March 26th, 2019, coordinating national resilience to electromagnetic pulses. Purpose: an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, has the potential to disrupt, degrade, and damage technology in critical infrastructure systems. Human-made or naturally occurring EMPs can affect large geographic areas, disrupting elements critical to the nation's security and economic prosperity, and could adversely affect global commerce and stability. The federal government must foster sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective approaches to improving the nation's resilience to the effect of EMPs. Section 2. Definitions, as used in this order. A. Critical infrastructure means systems and assets, whether physical or virtual, so vital to the United States that the incapacity or destruction of such systems and assets would have a debilitating impact on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination of those matters. B. Electromagnetic pulse is a burst of electromagnetic energy. EMPs have the potential to negatively affect technology systems on Earth and in space. A high altitude EMP, HEMP, or HEMP, is a type of human-made EMP that occurs when a nuclear device is detonated at approximately 40 kilometers or more above the surface of Earth. A geomagnetic disturbance, or GMD, is a type of natural EMP, driven by a temporary disturbance of Earth's magnetic field resulting from interactions with solar eruptions. Both HEMPs and GMDs can affect large geographic areas. C. National critical functions means the functions of government and the private sector so vital to the United States that their disruption, corruption, or dysfunction would have a debilitating effect on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination thereof. D. National essential functions means the overarching responsibilities of the federal government to lead and sustain the nation before, during, and in the aftermath of a catastrophic emergency, such as an EMP, that adversely affects the performance of government. E. Prepare and preparedness mean the actions taken to plan, organize, equip, train, and exercise to build and sustain the capabilities necessary to prevent, protect against, mitigate the effects of, respond to, and recover from those threats that pose the greatest risk to the security of the nation. These terms include the prediction and notification of impending EMPs. Let me repeat that sentence. These terms include the prediction and notification of impending EMPs. F. A sector-specific agency, or SSA, is the federal department or agency that is responsible for providing institutional knowledge and specialized expertise, as well as leading, facilitating, or supporting the security and resilience programs and associated activities of its designated critical infrastructure sector in the all-hazards environment. The SSAs are those identified in Presidential Policy Directive 21 of February 12, 2013, Critical Infrastructure Security and Resilience. Section 3. Policy. A. It is the policy of the United States to prepare for the effect of EMPs through targeted approaches that coordinate whole of government activities and encourage private sector engagement. The federal government must provide warning of an impending EMP, protect against, respond to, and recover from the effects of an EMP through public and private engagement, planning, and investment, and prevent adversarial events through deterrence, defense, and nuclear nonproliferation efforts. To achieve these goals, the federal government shall engage in risk-informed planning, prioritize research and development, or R&D, to address the needs of critical infrastructure stakeholders, and for adversarial threats, consult intelligence community assessments. B. To implement the actions directed in this order, the federal government shall promote collaboration and facilitate information sharing, including the sharing of threat and vulnerability assessments among executive departments and agencies, the owners and operators of critical infrastructure, and other relevant stakeholders as appropriate. The federal government shall also provide incentives as appropriate to private sector partners to encourage innovation that strengthens critical infrastructure against the effects of EMPs through the development and implementation of best practices, regulations, and appropriate guidance. Section 4. Coordination. A. The Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs, APNSA, through National Security Council staff and in consultation with the Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, the OSTP, shall coordinate the development and implementation of executive branch actions to assess, prioritize, and manage the risks of EMPs. The APMSA shall, on an annual basis, submit a report to the President summarizing progress on the implementation of this order, identifying gaps in capability and recommending how to address those gaps. B. To further the federal R&D research and development necessary to prepare the nation for the effects of EMPs, the Director of OSTP, the Office of Science and Technology Policy, shall coordinate efforts of agencies through the National Science and Technology Council, the NSTC. The Director of OSTP, the Office of Science and Technology Policy, through the NSTC, the National Science and Technology Council, shall annually review and assess the R&D, research and development needs of agencies conducting preparedness activities or EMPs, consistent with this order. Section 5. Roles and responsibilities. A. The Secretary of State shall 1. Lead the coordination of diplomatic efforts with United States allies and international partners regarding enhancing resilience to the effects of EMPs. And 2. In coordination with the Secretary of Defense and the heads of other relevant agencies, strengthen nuclear nonproliferation and deterrence efforts, which would reduce the likelihood of an EMP attack on the United States or its allies and partners by limiting the availability of nuclear devices. B. The Secretary of Defense shall 1. In cooperation with the heads of relevant agencies and with United States allies, international partners, and private sector entities, as appropriate, improve and develop the ability to rapidly characterize, attribute, and provide warning of EMPs, including effects on space systems of interest to the United States. 2. The Secretary of Defense shall provide timely operational observations, analysis, forecasts, and other products for naturally occurring EMPs to support the mission of the Department of Defense, along with the United States allies and international partners, including the provision of alerts and warnings for natural EMPs that may affect weapon systems, military operations, or the defense of the United States. Number 3, the Secretary of Defense shall conduct R&D, research and development and testing to understand the effects of EMPs on Department of Defense systems and infrastructure, improve capabilities to model and simulate the environments and effects of EMPs, and develop technologies to protect Department of Defense systems and infrastructure from the effects of EMPs to ensure the successful execution of Department of Defense missions. Let me repeat the sentence in there, okay? The Secretary of Defense shall conduct research and development and testing to understand the effects of EMPs on Department of Defense systems and infrastructure, improve capabilities to what? Model and simulate the environments and effects of EMPs, and develop technologies to protect Department of Defense systems and infrastructure from the effects of EMPs. Now, how do you suppose they would conduct research and development and testing on the effects of EMPs unless they generate EMPs? They have to improve capabilities to model and simulate the environments and effects of EMPs. So creating artificial EMPs to test the system, essentially.